There it is. I just experienced my first ever cosplay photography shoot in Pre-Tanabata Festival. The first time we've done a controlled setup.
I saw some cosplayers now. First I'm gonna inspect how's the venue. It's kind of weird. I'm not seeing a lot of cosplay photographers. It's suspicious, bro.
When we arrived in Pre-Tanabata Festival, I was walking around places where there would be more people, but I was surprised to see that there were very little people in the event. And when I was walking around, I was very nervous because it's my first time doing cosplay photography shoot and I see no photographers in sight. Usually I'd see a photography setup like a softbox and tripods. I'd see them everywhere. Now I'm walking around and I see none. I thought Ayala Malls Manila Bay had enforced a rule where you can't really take pictures in our place anymore, or there's a designated spot. As seen in the video, there was a designated spot for photographers, but turns out there's just a lot of photographers in that area and you can shoot anywhere that's not disturbing. If you guys are new, my name is Lucidz DMSN or Lucidz Dimension. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. And I'm gonna be showing you lessons I learned in my first ever cosplay photography shoot. The story goes all the way back in January 15th of 2023. Anime fair. To give you guys a little bit of a context, I wanted to interact with as many cosplayers as I could, and my way of achieving that goal is by taking pictures. This is my actual first ever cosplay photography run and gun. You guys can see some of the pictures that I took. For a first time, they're not bad. This is also the first time I've dabbled on Lightroom. That was the moment I fell in love with this software. After taking a couple of pictures inside and outside, I met a group of photographers. I went up to them and I asked for photo advice. One of the problems I faced in the event is I just didn't have good lighting, and my camera at the time was in a Sony ZV-E10. The camera I used at the time is a Canon 550D. This was the camera I used to shoot with during that time. So I have a 5.6 aperture lens, 18 to 55 millimeter. I shot on manual, so that's pretty nice. When I asked them on how to get better lighting, they told me that one of the key secrets in achieving good lighting is a flash photography. At the time, I was already getting the idea that this is what I need. So for me to take better pictures, for me to get better lighting, it's all about the flash. And they really went into detail about how upgrading your lens, a prime lens, is gonna make you learn a lot of stuff, and also buying a flash is gonna give you so much perspective on how light works. It was a bunch of new things that I was exposed to. It's like, damn, there's a long way for me to go from here. Fast forward to a year later, I managed to shoot again in January. It's called Cosplay Blitz. One of the producers of that event is actually Sir Richard. He had encouraged me to join the event, and I did, with the primary purpose of, once again, taking pictures. I think you're starting to get the theme of where this story is going. This time, I brought with me an LED light. So this was something that I brought with me along with a power bank. So every time I would take a picture of someone, I would have to turn on my power bank, turn on the light, because there's like a switch here, and then do this, holding the camera, and I'm doing this. This is how I would take pictures. You can tell how difficult that was. And it was around this time when I started to finally notice, maybe I really do need a flash after all. Because the light output this LED is giving is not as strong as a flash or the LEDs you're seeing right behind me. Nevertheless, these are the shots that I took. You can see that there is a significant improvement with the lighting, composition, and ladies and gentlemen, after all that history, we finally reach present day. Fast forward to present day, I finally had my first ever flash. Yes, this is the Godox TT600. This is the first ever flash I've ever purchased, accompanied by an X2T trigger, and man, I love this, man. So yeah, this is me unboxing it. You can see the joy in me unboxing this toy. It's such a fun experience finally getting this because, ladies and gentlemen, it took me 2 years to finally get this, to finally start my cosplay photography journey, and here we are. This isn't exactly expensive. This only cost like 4,000 pesos or less than $100. It wasn't really the money that was stopping me from making this purchase, but the readiness, capacity to continuously pursue this hobby and also passion. I had a feeling that if I were to pursue this, then it wouldn't be continuous. I feel like it would have been like this and then whoosh, and I didn't want that. So right now, you're now this, continue to grow up. So yeah, it's not about the gear, it's about starting now, discovering your passion for it, finding the love for it first before finally diving headfirst into the thing that you wanted to do for so long. It took me 2 years to buy my first ever flash and my LEDs and everything that you're seeing right now, including my Pookie Bear Silver Wolf in the back. So yeah, it takes time. Just go out there, find your love for the game, and enjoy. Lesson number 1 is know the setting. I'm not just talking about the settings in your camera, I'm talking about the setting as in where, what, who. One of the biggest issues I faced in photo shoots is the location. That's the number 1 thing that you should prioritize over anything else. It's the location. Where are you taking your pictures? Are you taking the pictures in the streets? Are you taking your pictures in the mall, in a convention hall, in a studio? In our first ever paid shoot, I was commissioned to take a picture of their Resident Evil cos group, and man, it almost didn't come to fruition. Luckily, the cosplayers were nice. They just wanted to get their photos taken. In reality, if this incident were to happen again, I wouldn't be forgiven easily. We just went there as friends, as someone who wants to enjoy the convention. I think it was around 2 or 3 p.m. We walked outside and got to the photography area. Little did we know that the photography area would be occupied. So that meant anywhere we went, it was full. There were already photographers setting up in that area, and obviously first come first serve, and that became a problem. I wasn't just taking a picture of one person, I was doing a cos group photo, meaning I had to guide these people before taking the shot. It's easier if it was run and gun and it was just one person, because you can just like walk somewhere that you're not allowed to and just snap and then that's done. But no, can't do that with 4 people. So I was starting to get scared shitless. We managed to shoot here in this one spot. We managed to pull it off. So that's the number 1 lesson that you really need to learn. Secure your location. Know the type of setting. Know the type of lighting that you're gonna get. So this is a mall. It's gonna have bad lighting. So we positioned ourselves near the window, and now we had too much lighting. So my LED lights, these lights were trying their hardest to battle the lights of the sun, and it was already cloudy. It is nowhere near the power of a sunny day, and it was already overpowering my LEDs. So that's what I mean by know your settings. I'm not just talking about the camera settings. Know the location, know the condition. Are you shooting this type of cosplay? Are you shooting close-ups? Are you shooting wide shots? Are you shooting dynamic poses? Are you shooting stills? Knowing what type of shot you're doing, where you're conducting these shoots, also your camera setting is going to be very helpful. It's something that a lot of people don't pay much attention to, and it can get really bad. We walked for around 30 minutes to an hour trying to find a place to shoot. We wrote like 5 locations. Look at this. We wrote like 5 locations. Ruled out the pros and cons.
So this is our setup. This is how it looks like. We got the LED right here. We got another LED, which the purpose is as a rim light. We gotta add some angle because we want to achieve that rim light look, though it's kind of risky doing it in front of the sun. But this is our soft box. Yeah, this is our soft box. This is the This is the set. This is what we're working with. I'm with my friend Riri. We are looking for cosplayers. I feel like this is much easier. It's it's less stressful to do. Like I feel like when we did our last shoot, here are the pictures of our last shoot. It went pretty well. It looked good. I got to learn, and I finally understand it. I finally understand the right execution of the photos, and it's going darker. The time is getting darker, so that means there is more potential for the light. You know, we're not fighting the sun anymore. We are now in control. So that's what we're working with. Yeah, it's nice to be on the second floor. Look at this, chat. Look at that, chat. Look at that. Look at that, dude. We're doing it. We're doing it lit. We're gonna find some people downstairs if we can. We need 3 more people after this one. We're gonna need 3 more people and we meet the quota. Bam.
I told you guys earlier that in our initial location, we were located at the 5th floor. The first thing that you want to consider with the subject is who. Who are your subjects and how are you going to get them in your shot? Since we are in a convention, this is pretty easy. We could just go anywhere that has cosplayers in it except restaurants, because obviously they're taking a break, they're eating, and just ask them, hi, is it okay to take a picture of you and your cosplay? We're doing some shoot upstairs. The problem was that we were initially located at the 5th floor. A lot of people were thrown off at the fact that we were located at the 5th floor looking for people on the ground floor. So a lot of people are gonna get turned off by the effort just to get to your shoot. Luckily, we were able to go down to the 2nd floor and shoot our subjects there. Another thing that you want to learn about your subject is communicating with the subject. One of the things that wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for my friend Riri is communicating with them, getting to know their story, getting to know how to soften up with your subject, because usually most of the time a lot of the people that you're shooting are very nervous. They don't know how to pose, they don't know how to act. A lot of them are camera shy, and relating to your subjects and making them soften up is one of the toughest things ever. And this whole shoot would not have been possible if it wasn't for my friend who did that. He was thanking me how I was able to save her because I brought a spare battery and we had the same camera slot, but I would argue no, she saved me. She saved me because I wouldn't have gotten the courage or the right dialogue choices if it wasn't for her talking to a lot of the cosplayers. Yeah, she did a great job making the cosplayers comfortable or recommending some poses, because at the time I was really just focused on the lighting, the composition, the technical stuff and all that crap. I was focused on the technical stuff. I wasn't really too focused on the subjects, and that is wrong. If you're doing this, you also have to consider your subjects. And again, I just got lucky that I had a friend who was very good at communicating with people, communicating with cosplayers, and making sure that they are comfortable during the shoot. So that is one of the things that you have to consider. Always consider your subjects. Are they comfortable? Always ask if they're okay with the shots that you're doing. Ask if it's okay for you to upload them on social media. Always be considerate of the subjects, no matter what. That is very important. You need to put that above everything else.
So we have managed to shoot 4 cosplayers. We're looking for a 5th one. One more person. We got our last person with Isaiah. Here we're gonna do the last shot. I was nervous asking the cosplayer out because it's already night, and just overall I didn't want to get rejected for a photo. But here we are, last shot. Let's make this count.
That leads us to our final lesson. Just go for it. And I know it's such a cop-out, but let me explain. When I was finding the final cosplayer that we were gonna shoot, I was nervous because I didn't really know who we're gonna shoot. Every single person that we've shot was from Riri, so I had to rely on Riri's charisma just so that we could get people in our shoot. And this time it was finally my turn, and boy, did we manage to have a really good subject. This is Silas from Love in Deep Space, the female equivalent of Nikkei. I was nervous asking because usually when the cosplayer has a really advanced getup, you kind of have a feeling that, oh no, they must be a pro. I'm not ready to step up to their level yet, you know, because they're a pro and I'm just beginning. And so what I mean by go for it is when I ask the cosplayer, I said something along the lines of, hi, I really like your cosplay. Are you cosplaying someone from Love in Deep Space? I said, yes. Is it okay if we ask you for a shoot on the second floor? And she said, sure, sure. And while we were walking, I said it was my first time doing these photography shoots, and I was happy that she said yes, or something like that. We finally got there and we took the shots. It was amazing. I feel like this is the best shots that we had for the day, and not only was it because of our incredible subject, but it was also because I had already learned so much from each cosplayer that we took photos of. One of the things that the cosplayer was telling us was just go for it. Tell them what you want them to do. Poses, referring to what shots, like be experimental. Wide shots, I can do close-ups, like extreme close-ups. I can do anything that I really wanted as long as the cosplayer is okay with it. Pretty much the entire message of our dialogue is to just go for it, and also don't be afraid to ask the cosplayer what they want, because that's also one thing that I did. I would take pictures, I would show them the picture, and then I would ask, what would you want on our next picture? Like, what kind of approach do you want to do with our next photo? Do you want this to be more contrasting, like darker, or do you want this to be lighter? Basically just asking the person that you're shooting what they prefer. That was a really helpful tip, and that was something that I noticed that I should keep doing. It creates this connection between your creative vision and also the cosplayer's preferred portrayal. Another thing that I haven't really mentioned is while I was talking to the cosplayers, one of the things that I kept doing is I kept asking questions. A lot of these characters I am not familiar with. I had to ask a lot of questions. Who is this character that you're cosplaying? Where is this character from? What kind of character is this person? Is he or she a villain? Is he or she a hero? Is this an anti-hero? While I ask these questions, the subject is letting us know about what they like about the character, why they cosplay that character, and you're learning so much about the person and also letting them share their passion with you. You're also learning about how to compose your image. This is an example of how it was done. So I was pitched about this character who is evil for the sake of evil, who likes tormenting others according to her description. And so because of that, I was starting to get an idea of what creative direction I should take with my shot. So here's what I did. I added a lot of red. I made sure to take like low angle shots. As I described, there's like this emotion. The character was looking down on the viewer, something that ignites pride. Playing along to the character's description, I really don't know anything about the character. I just ask questions. So, you know, if I'm wrong. One thing that I'm lucky though is Kaveh. I'm familiar with Kaveh, with his character from Genshin Impact. So he's Dendro, so I added a little bit of green, the lighting, and I also added some yellow, some gold, because not only does it highlight the hair, but it's also because of Kaveh's nature of having a golden heart, being kind, helpful to others. Kaveh just gives off color yellow in terms of character and personality. Going back to Silas, I had to get real experimental with this. The sun is finally starting to set. It was already dark outside, it was raining, and so we had to experiment with the lights. And I have to admit that I was very challenged by this. I didn't really know how to capture the vibe of who Silas is, and I was told that Silas was like a mafia leader, and so I tried to go with the reds again and added a lot of contrast, a lot of shadows to create that badassery, because that was also one of the so I asked the cosplayer, what makes you like this character, and I was told because he's badass. And so, you know, we had to make it badass as possible. I don't know if I achieved it. I don't know if I was able to get it right. Nevertheless, I managed to learn a couple of thing or two. So that leaves us at the end of the video. And those are some of the lessons that I learned in my first ever cosplay photography controlled setting edition. Not gonna lie, it's very insightful. I am excited to attend my second ever cosplay shoot, which is ACX July 19th 2025. This is gonna be tougher. This has a lot more people. It's easier to find a subject, but it's gonna be tough on the side of competition. There's gonna be a lot of cosplayers, there's gonna be a lot of photographers. A lot of them are probably gonna be fighting for the spot as well, so I need to be there early. There's gonna be so many variables that come into play in this event that I have to be careful. I have to be more aware of my surroundings. Yeah, just so much to consider in an event like ACX. This is a big event. This isn't like Pre-Tanabata. This is gonna be loaded, and with these things that I've learned, hopefully you also learned a couple of things or two. This is how we're gonna do this. I'm learning things as we go. We're discovering new things. So this is like a community thing where I learn new things and you give me your insights, on hoping that you also learn a couple of new things as we go. So that is gonna be it for me. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, this is DMSN, and I will see you the next episode.